and welcome back to our second week of deserts. And this is actually the last week that we're going to be talking about deserts. So we only got to talk about them for 2 weeks, which means we're going to go over our animals again really quickly, okay? I don't think we're going to do all of them, just some of them. And then maybe we'll finish the rest on Zoom. What do you think? Yeah? So we're going to do our rattlesnake. And can anybody remember what material these rattles are made out of? Does anybody remember? It's the same material as our fingernails, right guys? So if you hold up your fingernails, you can see the same material that rattlesnakes' rattles are made out of. They kind of sound like. All right, our next one is a coyote. And these guys howl. Can you howl with me? Ready? Ow! Good job. All right, these is a prairie dog. And now they eat both plants and insects. Can anybody tell me what that means? That's right. It means that they are omnivores. Say it with me. Omnivores. One more time because it's a tricky word. Omnivores. Good job. So our prairie dogs are omnivores. All right, you guys should know what this one is. This is a camel, and they can go 7 months without water. Isn't that wild? They have these cool little humps. Sometimes they spit. They are a really funny animal. All right, we're going to do 2 more. Let's see. We're going to do our lizard. And now, if you know what letter this word starts with, go ahead and say it as quietly as you can. Ready? Can you guys say it a little louder? L. It starts with the letter L. Good job, guys. So that is our lizard. And now he uses this part of his head to make himself look bigger. So if anything were to try to hurt him, he would scare them away because he looks so big. That is called a defense mechanism. And now this last one isn't an animal. It is a cactus. Good job. And now hopefully you remember, but there are multiple different types of cacti, and this is just one of them. All these little lines right here show the different needles that cacti have to protect themselves, which is another defense mechanism. All right, let's see. So now, we talked about it being so dry in the desert, right? Can anybody remember how much rain the desert gets? It is less than 10 inches of rain in 1 year. So that means it's really dry. And in the warm deserts like we're talking about, like the Sahara Desert, it's really hot. So how do you think that this many animals thrive in the desert? What do you guys think? Do you think that maybe instead of being awake during the day, they're awake at night when it's a little bit cooler? Do you guys remember what word that is when an animal is awake at nighttime? What do you guys think? Is it omnivores? No, those are animals that eat plants and insects, or plants and meat, like the prairie dog we were talking about. What about, is it maybe nocturnal? Yes, that is a word that describes animals who are awake during the night instead of during the day. And this benefits the desert animals because it's a little bit cooler in the evening and nighttime than it is during the day. So keep that in mind. A lot of our desert animals are nocturnal so that it's a little bit less warm when they're awake. Otherwise, it would just get so hot for them, I bet. So now we're going to move on to our next craft, and this is going to be a sand castle made out of blocks. So what we're going to do is paper blocks. is take our paper, just brown paper to kind of look like sand, and I'm going to try to make it look like wooden blocks like we have in our classroom. So I cut one strip just like that, and I'm going to cut that one in half to be a longer block. And then we're going to do a couple more. I'm going to do some smaller blocks like we have in our classroom. Because at the beach, I always like to make sandcastles. And something that the desert has, because it is so dry, is a lot of sand. So we are going to pretend that we are in the desert for our craft this week. So now for this one, I'm going to make this one kind of look like a bridge. So I'm going to cut a little half circle out of it, just like what we have in class. That way our shapes are a little bit mixed up. And I'm going to do that with one more of them. So just going to cut it again, like a little half circle. So we have another bridge shape. And then I think I'm going to do some more big blocks. Just like that. And then maybe these guys will be smaller. Let's see. So I'm going to cut those. And now we have smaller blocks. So we have a bunch of different sizes of blocks. We have some blocks that look longer. Some smaller looking sand blocks. These are kind of medium. And then these are like little bridges. And then these are our little half circles. So really quick, let's see. Let's use these guys and see if we can sort them by size. So these look, let's see if you guys can tell. Do these look bigger or smaller than the blocks that are down here? I think these are the smallest. So what I'm going to do is put them down here. Make sure you guys can see them. And then I'm going to go for, this one. Let's see. Do you think that these are bigger or smaller than this size? What do you guys think? This looks a little bit bigger. So let's maybe put it over here. And we know these are just in between these two. But we still have this size. Let's see. All right, well, we know these are bigger than these. Let's come up one more size. These still look a little bit longer. So let's make some room for them because they're not the biggest. These guys are a little bit wider. So what we're going to do is put them right in here. And now we have small. Well, let's do smaller, small, medium, large. And then our miscellaneous shapes over here, just because they're kind of hard to sort by size. Okay. So what I'm going to do before we get started is color my white piece of paper to make it look like a sandy background. So what I'm going to do is just take some yellow and just add some sand, just like that. And try to make it look like a desert. So you can't really see what I'm doing. I'm going to try to add some darker yellow and see if that helps. Just going to make some sand dunes like they would find in the desert. And now you can take a little more time to color this, or you could even use some paper to make your sandy background, maybe some yellow paper, or you could do some paint. Watercolor paint could be pretty. Okay, so I'm going to take my last yellow color and just fill it in. So you can tell we're working with the sand. Got some dunes in the background, which is basically just a hill made completely of sand. And then I think, you know what? Let's add a sun and some clouds really quick. So it looks like a hot desert day. And now, if it's daytime in our picture, would we see any animals out? No, right? Because they're mostly nocturnal. So they're all going to be sleeping during the day. Okay, so now we have our sand, our sun over here, and a blue little cloud, and now I think it's time to get started. So I am going to take a glue stick for this one, uncap it, and I think I want to start with my medium-sized blocks. And I'm going to take both of them here and do them, I think, like that. I think I want my sandcastle to have a sturdy foundation. So make sure you're covering the back with glue, but you're not pushing down too hard, right guys? We don't want to ruin our glue sticks, but we want to make sure we have enough glue on our blocks. There we go. Do the same over here. And then you know what? I think we're going to take one of our fun bridge looking pieces and put it on top like that. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just adding glue to our back to create our own sandcastle. And yours doesn't have to look like mine if you don't want it to. You can create whatever you want. Now let's see. I think I'm going to add my little half circles there like that to make it look a little bit more like a castle. So just on the edge here for our sand castle. Okay, and I think I'm going to flip it towards you guys so you can see what's going on too. A little bit more clearly. I think I'm actually going to make these blocks a little bit smaller so they can be like little towers for our castle, just like that. What do you guys think? Look good? Now we're not going to use all of our blocks for this picture just because Miss Jessica cut a lot. I used a whole piece of brown paper for them. But if you want to use all of your blocks, you can do that. I think that would be perfectly fine. You can get more creative and build up more, or use another big piece of paper for your background so you have more space. But I think that's all I'm going to do with mine. And now just for fun, I am going to take my pen and I'm going to add a little green flag to our sandcastle for our Your Rote class because I miss my friends so much. There we go. So I just added a fun little flag. Color it in. Alright, and that is it, I think. What do you guys think? Is there anything else I could add to my sandcastle? We've got our solid foundation, some different shapes in here. So we have rectangles and half circles and more rectangles. And this is kind of a funky shape. It would be hard to identify. What would you guys call this one? Look, we even have a little triangle on our flag and a circle in our sun. So that is our sand castle. What do you guys think? Do you want to make your own sandcastle out of our paper blocks? I had so much fun doing this with you guys, and I hope that you have been learning so much about deserts. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day. Bye.